And when I speak to that, it can sound like it's, airy-fairy high level, but it's really about how do you show up and add value. What's your mission? What do you want to create in the world? So for example, with you, with social media and all the amazing work you do, you are committed to showing people how to engage with one another at a high level and an intimate level, creating engagement that will bring about results for both parties, creating that win-win, and you do that through the social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go out and you're meeting new people, you're listening and you're asking questions to find out how is their level of engagement. What are they up to? And also, without being so targeted in that conversation and really just finding out about the person, the way that you're going to be able to be the one for them will show up. But you got to be very clear on how you show up and how you're the one.
Very, very clear, just a very clear description of what you need to be doing. Because, again, think of how when we go networking, we always say we need to be very intentional when we're going networking, and to be intentionally have to be clear in that intention.
Mm-hmm. And it also goes to a lot of times people aren't clear on what their pricing or their packages are, or they customize everything. When you know exactly how you help someone, and that's both in the way, the manner in which you deliver your services, and then also how they're packaged,
mm-hmm.
it makes it easier to always take the next step and actually serve people. So when I'm working with clients, we focus on what are your services, what are your programs or products that you offer, and what's the pricing for them. It's always the first place to start out. Because let's say you meet somebody at a networking event and you get on a conversation about them having a need in social media. I'm going to go there again. And you're in that conversation in that moment, and they say, I would love to have a stronger impact and presence. How do we get started? Your answer in that moment, being fully prepared to receive the business and receive the ability to help them, is, well, we have several packages that range from $500 to $15,000. And what I normally recommend is we get started with an initial consultation and package. I really want to assess your needs, see where you're at, and develop the proper plan for us to go forward. And that initial assessment and consultation is $250 or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be clear to create that engagement right away. And what I see people often doing is kind of going out too vague, and it slows down the process rather than accelerating their results and their profits.
Wow.
No, I love the way you stated that there. You made it all about them, but by the same time, you're endearing them, you're attracting them back to you by how you're laying out the process that you're going through, and then actually making it all about them.
Yeah, to serve them better, and that was all in my language
mm-hmm.
around that.
Mm-hmm.
And the point of having something initial to engage them is to start to build that relationship. Because let's say this person standing in front of you is a $15,000 client. If you're just meeting them and just getting started to work with them, they may not know you well enough in order to make that type of investment. So we've got to start building that relationship. And kind of what I'm talking about here is a funnel. And the purpose of a funnel is to develop the relationship. The more people know you, like you, and trust you, as our friend Bob says,
mm-hmm.
the more they would continue to invest in you because you're investing in them with value.
Wow. I mean, again, it's just, it sounds so very simple, but it is something that has to come naturally.
Mm-hmm. And it takes some practice and preparation. And, this is one of the things that I stay focused on when working with clients, to make sure that they're pulling themselves away from the pressure of sell, 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 and switching to serve, 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 serve.
Well, and again, that goes back to where if you, I share this with our clients when I'm focusing on engaging on social media, is you have to get out of your own way and really make everything client focused. That way they see the value and they will resonate more with you.
It takes a big leap of faith to shift from that if your thinking is the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I think traditional sales models have you focus on numbers and statistics and closing ratios, and hey, I pay attention to all of that. That is all added information that helps me guide next steps, marketing strategy. But traditional sales and going for the close, and that's why there's such a resistance to selling for so many people, is from this old paradigm of what sales was. Mm-hmm. And when you can make that leap to trust that if I show up with the intention of adding value and serving and having a monetary structure that backs up how I serve related to it, that's why that whole pricing structure has got to be very clear. It's not you're serving for free, you're serving in exchange. Mm-hmm. When you show up with a servant's attitude and agenda, you will make so much more money. Now, you can't do it saying, it's kind of like you don't give to get. You give to give, and you trust that the getting comes and the receiving comes.
And that's just having faith in the system, the faith in yourself, and realizing that all the mistakes that you made to get to that point are now gone because they serve their purpose by educating you. Love it.
Yeah, mistakes. Let's talk about that. No. I made bunches of those. I'll probably make a bunch more.
Hey, but isn't that the way we grow? I mean, I don't know about anybody else in the audience, but I tend to learn a whole lot more from my mistakes than I do from my successes.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it is. We think about little kids, and I know you've got lots of grandkids. How many do you have?
Oh, we've got 8 now.
Wow, you got me beat.
But they're all. I have not met your grandchildren, but I've seen lots of pictures of them, and they're all beautiful. So
they are. Well, and the reason I brought that up is that when we're talking about mistakes and learning from them, I think one of the places that people get stuck is they get afraid to make a mistake. So they get stuck in doing nothing because everything has to be perfect and I don't want to get it wrong. Whereas if you're willing to make a mistake, and educated guesses perhaps is a better way to put it, you will advance and grow. Think about the baby who starts off crawling and starts to walk. How many times do they fall down before they can figure out how to walk? But they don't give up. Or we don't let them give up either. Come on. We take them by the hand and we lift them up. So that's where you got to get coaches and mentors and surround yourself with other people that know how to do what you're up to and what you want to create in your life.
I love that analogy, Nancy, because when you mentioned the word perfect, and Richard still is constantly teasing me about this, but when I met him, I guess I am now a recovering perfectionist, but I never wanted to launch anything until it was perfect. It was me. I mean, my house had to be perfect, and we won't even go into all those issues, but anyway, through the years of being in business, I have learned to understand that I'm going to fail forward. I have to understand that. Try those things, or as Richard likes to say, let's just go dirty and do it, and we'll fix it later, because we're not going to have any results if we don't start somewhere. But when you made that analogy, I can, for a testimonial to you, coming into your coaching program, it was on my bucket list for a couple of years, and I knew that the timing would be there when it was there, and it happened this year. And I can honestly say, since I joined the coaching program this last April, and I think Richard will step up and even say something, he has seen such a difference in me, having that accountability group, having the coaches that I can, and the mentors that I can turn to help me get through these challenges. Because as a business person, that's where we really need some help. We need some guidance because we can't do it all ourselves. Yeah.
Well, that makes me really happy to hear that, and that is our goal. And one of my guiding principles, every single time I create a new program, a business, whatever that is, and when I share this with my clients, is based upon a quote that I got from Michael Gerber, who is the author of the E-Myth Revisited, E-Myth Mastery, and 50 books in that series. He's amazing. And he says that there's only one justifiable reason for creating a business, and that is to serve someone's desire better than anyone else has.
Love it.
So when we created Women's Prosperity Network, when we developed and created the coaching program, when you show up now and want to serve people in social media, sure, there's tons of people that do this other stuff, but the prevailing question should always be, am I serving people to the best of my ability, to the best of my team's ability, and better than anyone else does?
I love that philosophy. It just rings so well, and it is so much you and your team by the same. It's just not doing something to check off that little mark and say, okay, we've done this and we've done this and we've done that.
Yeah, and it's not just about putting money in the bank account either.
Nope.
Yeah.
But then that's how you grow your business, as you mentioned. You grow your businesses through your little successes and your humongous successes. But that's what keeps driving you forward, and that's what got most of us out of working for corporate America and into being to one sport or another. And we've got that drive, we've got that motivation, and through organizations like you and your coaching program, hey, you're giving us the direction we need.
And so thank you for all of that. And the other thing that I'll share, and I'm assuming you may have some other coaches in your audience or people who are providing services, one of the responsibilities we have, and I know you do this, one of the responsibilities we have to our clients, both the existing ones and the ones that are coming on board, is I've got to be at the top of my game, continuously educating myself, nourishing myself, growing as a leader, increasing my capacity to be of service. And that's a responsibility. It's not a choice. If you really want to succeed in business, you've got to continuously be improving your skills and your expertise. And you guys must go through this even more so with the fast changes that take place in social media.
Every day it seems like we wake up in a new world. Something's changed somewhere. Let's go find it.
Yeah, that's wild.
You want how many programs I'm enrolled in right now online, learning and getting more certifications. It's continuous because it does change constantly. But, and business today has changed just since we started it. I mean, we've been in business since 98, but since 2010 is when we've really been focusing more on the social media and marketing strategies. And we have to, like you named, you spot on when you said we have to be on the top of our game, or we aren't able to serve those that definitely need us.
Now, the one thing I want to qualify here is there's two levels that we're really talking about, two foundational principles. The basic business principles of how to structure a business, taking a vision, creating your products, getting out there and serving it. The business structure and the business principles are timeless. The techniques of how you administer some of those things will change. So how do you structure your business? How do you identify what your clients' needs are? How do you deliver those services to them? What's your pricing structure? All of those processes, that foundation, is standard, as well as the core philosophy underneath is the one philosophy, treating each and every person as the one that they really are. Honoring and respecting other human beings, regardless of differences of opinion, regardless of where they're coming from. It's about finding value and adding value wherever you can.
And knowing what the actual one philosophy is, being the one who treats every person they meet as the one and really forming that habit. I have found that, when I smile at someone, just even standing in a line at the grocery store, I see them smile back if they were frowning or whatever. It's a feel good. And this last week, and of course, all of us in the east coast of Florida, we were experiencing a lot of drama and a lot of, activity preparing for a hurricane. And I saw a lot of individuals posting on social media how grumpy people were and, mean. I didn't experience that, Nancy.
I didn't either.
I did not. And it's because I practiced the one philosophy. I realized that was what was going on.
If I could, I'd like to transition us into a really important teaching point on business and getting customers.
Okay. Go for it.
And Yeah, and it also it ties into what we've been discussing before